From the shadows of poverty to the light of success. A story of courage, perseverance, and unshakable dreams. I was counting bruised tomatoes when Damien Vero's driver knocked over my vegetable crate. The Mercedes didn't even slow down. $40 worth of produce rolled into the gutter, mixing with sewage water and trash. My entire day's profit, gone. The driver looked back through tinted windows, smirked, and kept going. I stood there in my stained dress, hands shaking, watching luxury disappear around the corner while my brother Tomas scrambled to save what he could from the filthy street. "Layla, forget it," he said, pulling me back. "People like that don't even see us." But I saw the license plate. I saw everything. And I started taking photos. I photographed everything after that, every slight, every moment, like I was building a case file against the world itself. 3 days later, Damien himself appeared at the market. Tall, silver-haired, wearing a suit that cost more than our house. He walked through our stalls like he was touring a zoo, and then he stopped at mine. "You, the girl from the street." My throat went dry. "Yes? You didn't cry. You didn't beg. You just watched my car leave." His eyes were cold, evaluating. "I like that. I'm offering you an internship at Vero Industries. 6 months. Minimum wage. You'll work harder than you've ever worked." I should have heard the trap in his voice. "Why me?" "Because you have something to prove. And I enjoy watching people try." He handed me a business card. "Monday, 8 sharp. Dress professionally. And understand this, Miss Rivera, I build people up to see if they're worth keeping. Most aren't." Tomas grabbed my arm after Damien left. "Don't do it. That man is dangerous." "We're already in danger," I said. "At least this way. I choose which kind." Monday morning, I wore my only clean blouse and borrowed heels that didn't fit. The Vero Industries building was all glass and steel, 70 stories of wealth I'd only ever seen from below. Security made me wait 40 minutes in the lobby before issuing a visitor badge. The elevator ride to the 60th floor made my ears pop. Damien's assistant, Clara Jun, met me with a tight smile and a stack of files. "You'll start by organizing the archive room. Alphabetically." By Friday, the archive room was chaos. 15 years of unsorted documents, contracts, correspondence. No computer system. Just boxes and dust. It was designed to break me. I worked 16-hour days. I skipped meals. I created a color-coded system, cross-referenced every file, digitized what I could on my phone. Thursday night, I found something interesting. A folder marked, Community Development 2019. Inside were proposals for low-income housing projects in San Albino and 3 other slum neighborhoods. Approved projects. Funded projects. Projects that never happened. The money had been redirected into luxury condos instead. I photographed every page. Clara found me on Friday morning, surrounded by organized files, and her expression shifted from smugness to surprise. "You actually finished?" "I finished Wednesday. I've been cataloging financial discrepancies since then." I handed her the indexed system. "Everything's searchable now." She studied me for a long moment. "Damien wants to see you." His office overlooked the entire city. From up here, San Albino was just a gray smudge in the distance. "Clara tells me you exceeded expectations," Damien said without looking at me. "I did what was necessary. And you found irregularities in our community development funding." My stomach dropped. "I was just organizing, not investigating." "Don't lie. You're not good at it." He turned finally, leaning against his desk. "Here's what you don't understand yet, Layla. Those projects were never meant to be built. Community development is a tax strategy. We get credits for proposing solutions. We're not required to implement them. It's perfectly legal. It's not moral. Morality is expensive. I'm offering you a real position. Junior analyst. Actual salary. You'll help identify other, similar opportunities." The word caught in my throat. Opportunities? To look like we care while maximizing profit. Your background makes you valuable. You know what poor people want to hear. I wanted to throw his offer back in his face. I wanted to storm out. But I thought about Tomas, about our mother's medical bills, about every night I'd gone to bed hungry. "I'll take it," I said. Tomas barely spoke to me for a week after I told him. I moved into a tiny apartment closer to the office, worked 80-hour weeks, learned the language of corporate exploitation. I watched Damien and his executives discuss poverty like it was a market segment. I sat in meetings where they calculated exactly how much charity work was needed to maintain their public image. And I documented everything, every email, every memo, every casual conversation where they laughed about the communities they were bleeding dry. I created an encrypted backup of files. I recorded phone calls. I built a case so thorough that even Damien's lawyers couldn't dismantle it. Clara caught me one night, still at the office at 11. "You're going to burn out." "I'm fine." "No, you're obsessed. I've seen it before. Damien picks people like you specifically." She sat on the edge of my desk. "People who think they can win by working harder than everyone else. But this system isn't designed for you to win, Layla. It's designed to use you up. Then I'll change the system." She laughed, but it wasn't cruel. "You sound like I did, 5 years ago." I started drafting the proposal in secret. A genuine community development program using Vero Industries resources. Not performative charity but actual infrastructure, healthcare, education funding. I used Damien's own rhetoric about corporate responsibility, his public statements about giving back. I made it impossible to refuse without exposing hypocrisy. The night before the board meeting, Tomas called. "I'm in the emergency room. Infected wound from work. They won't treat me without payment up front." "How much?" $2,000. I had $1,500 in savings. "I'll figure it out." "Layla, forget it. I'll go to the public clinic tomorrow. You could die from an infection." My voice cracked. "I'll handle it." I walked into Damien's office and asked for an advance on my salary. He smiled that cold smile. "For what purpose?" "Family emergency." "How much?" $2,000. "That's a significant amount. What do I get in return?" My hands clenched. "My continued excellent work." "Not enough. I want something else. I want you to withdraw your little proposal tomorrow. The community development fantasy." My blood went cold. "How did you know about that?" "Please. I know everything that happens in my company. And I know you've been collecting evidence like some kind of vigilante." He walked around his desk. "Here's the deal. Take the money. Save your brother. Forget your crusade. Or present your proposal, watch it fail, and lose your job. Either way, I win." I took the money. I paid for Tomas's treatment. And I showed up to the board meeting with my proposal anyway. The conference room went silent when I began presenting. I pulled up slides showing the funding discrepancies, the failed projects, the communities still waiting for promised resources. I detailed how a real program could work, how it would actually improve Vero Industries' reputation instead of just maintaining appearances. Damien's face remained expressionless. When I finished, he stood. "This is certainly passionate, but Miss Rivera has fundamentally misunderstood our business model. We're not a charity. We're a corporation responsible to shareholders." "You promised those communities help," I said. "You took tax credits for promising." "We promised proposals, not results. The law doesn't require results." A board member, an older woman named Mrs. Santos, spoke up. "Actually, the optics here are concerning. If this information were made public." "It won't be," Damien said smoothly. "Miss Rivera signed an airtight non-disclosure agreement. Anything she shares publicly would result in immediate legal action and financial ruin." I felt the trap close around me. "But the proposal itself has merit," Mrs. Santos continued. "A genuine program could be good publicity. Especially now, with the election cycle." The room shifted. Other board members murmured agreement. Damien's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "Very well. We'll explore a pilot program. Small scale. Miss Rivera can lead it, under supervision." I should have felt victorious. Instead, I felt Damien's eyes on me, calculating his next move. The program launched 3 months later. Real funding, real resources going into San Albino. I worked with Miguel Torres, a community organizer who'd known me since childhood, to identify priorities. We started with a medical clinic, a school renovation, job training programs. The local news covered it. National media picked it up as a feel-good story. Vero Industries' stock price rose. I was featured in business magazines as the face of corporate responsibility. And slowly, I watched what I'd built begin to rot from the inside. The medical clinic required patients to participate in promotional photos. The school renovation came with mandatory branding, every classroom plastered with Vero Industries logos. The job training programs funneled workers into Vero's factories at below market wages. Miguel confronted me at the clinic opening. "This isn't what we discussed. It's more than we had before. It's exploitation with better marketing. You've given them permission to colonize us. That's not fair." "I'm trying to help." "No, you're trying to win. Against Damien, against poverty, against your own past. And you're using us as your battleground." Tomas stopped returning my calls. When I finally visited him, he was back at the market, selling vegetables. "You paid for a clinic that charges fees we can't afford," he said quietly. "You renovated a school but half the kids still can't attend because they're working. You created jobs that pay less than what I make here. It's a start. It takes time to change things. You changed yourself, Layla. You turned into someone who justifies the same things you used to hate." The final blow came from Clara. She invited me for coffee, and I saw the pity in her eyes. "Damien's planning to run for Congress. He's using your program as his platform. He's going to ride your work all the way to political power. Then we'll expose him. I have all the evidence." "Evidence of what? Legal tax strategies? Corporate decisions?" "You built him the perfect shield, Layla. A real program with real results that he can point to. You made him legitimate." I'd been so focused on not losing that I never considered I might win and still destroy everything. The night before Damien's campaign announcement, I leaked everything to the press. Every file, every recording, every piece of evidence I'd collected. The story broke like a bomb. Vero Industries stock dropped 18% in one day. Investigations were launched. Damien's campaign imploded before it began. And the community development program was suspended pending legal review. The clinic closed. The school renovation halted mid-project. The job training programs shut down. All the people who'd begun to hope, who'd started to believe things might improve, lost everything again. Except this time, they blamed me. Miguel said it best, standing in the empty clinic. "You wanted revenge more than you wanted to help us. And now we're paying for your pride." Damien, somehow, landed on his feet. Resigned as CEO with a golden parachute, started consulting, wrote a book about corporate responsibility. The legal investigations found technical violations but nothing criminal. He paid fines that barely dented his wealth. I was unhireable. My non-disclosure agreement violations resulted in a lawsuit I couldn't afford to fight. I settled by agreeing to never work in corporate philanthropy again. I moved back to San Albino, back to the market. Tomas and I work the same stall now. We don't talk much. Last week, I saw one of Damien's campaign posters still hanging on a wall. Someone had spray painted across his face. "She tried." Not, "She succeeded." Not, "She failed." Just, "She tried." I don't know if that's forgiveness or condemnation. Some nights I convince myself I did the right thing. I exposed corruption. I tried to help. I fought back against a system designed to crush people like me. Other nights, I count the people who were hurt by my actions. The families who lost access to the clinic. The children whose school renovation never finished. The workers who had jobs, even low-paying ones, and now have nothing. Miguel was right. I wanted to win more than I wanted to help. I wanted Damien destroyed more than I wanted my community saved. And the worst part is, I'd probably do it all again. Not because it was right, but because I still can't stand the thought of men like Damien Vero looking at people like me and seeing nothing worth noticing. Tomas is sorting tomatoes beside me, the same bruised fruit that started everything. He catches me watching him. "You thinking about it again?" "Yeah, would you change anything?" I want to say yes. I want to say I'd choose differently, act smarter, consider consequences. But I just shake my head. He nods slowly, turns back to the produce. After a long silence, he speaks again. "I don't know if that makes you brave or broken." "Maybe both," I say. "Maybe it's the same thing." The market closes around us. Familiar sounds, familiar smells, familiar poverty. Nothing changed except me, and I still don't know if that's enough.